time for us to tap in third eye open like the river. I be running thoughts glowing, popping up with idea. Yes, yes, you can tell a friend that I'm Smitty. I'm the Mr. 007. I'm not here to preach the gospel, but I goes in like the reverend. Shoes off when I walk in and keep it chillin' peaceful. I'm the neurotoxins fighting off the disease. Cool and collected, well respected. Save the drama for your mama. Speak your mind, hit the lip, make you chew. Every person in the building come up and tell me what you think. I retired from the streets, now pushing content and chill beats. Gotta keep your head up even when you feel defeats.
Welcome to the lighthouse. Storm all around. I'm standing right now, sent from the cloud. They talking mine now, but I'm just fighting for my blood and my life. Yeah. Sent from the heaven, king on seven, trials on trials, still count blessings. Wait on the revelating, heart in heaven. I stay patient, I'm beyond the angels. I am mad, I bleed, I'm tangled. Sword on my back, axe on the strap. Go with the weight of the world in my lap. Touching my can, we doubling back. Pray with my palm, but I'm ready for that. Long Star County King, that greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my ego, you can keep your Grammy. Build this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is greatness, DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Long Star County King, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the Lighthouse Foundation. Still waiting on revelation. Till then I'm in rotation. Heard of my chases, but I'm chasing. Turn my scars into statements. I don't need to stage a camera. I need these papers, hand and hammers. Still in my spine, still in my hands. Guarding my bloodline, holding this land. They can test, they can try, they can hate me. I've been forging a fire that will make me PG Ray. Lone Star in my vein. DMV on the map, say the name. Lone Star County Kings, that's greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my acres, you can keep your Grammy. Build this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is greatness, DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Don't talk who they can, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the Lighthouse Foundation.
I'm a fallen angel from sky. Up above, I'm that man that think is a thug. I'm your drug and your plug. Wings tucked, I seen pain, seen blessings, seen luck. Ran over by train, that's about 8 trucks. Smitty really gritty, but never I'm no slut to the money and fame. You can keep your chain, we free men over here. And in case you didn't know, my favorite color is here. Yes, I'm here, not fresh to death, no stress, no worries. All burdens, I done buried closed coffin. I'm the beauty of the beast, and a man I found often. I'm the cure to infection, my reflection is broken down in sections. Retired chef outside, still cooking. I be rocking with best, thank you, good looking. Y'all bammers be lunching on mothers. If you not from my section, then you cool, but not a brother. Lone Star, the astronaut from above. You looking for a fix, I'm your brand new blood. Shotgun slug, flood of the love spreads. Truck by train, made it out by thread. Shoulda be dead, but rose from darkness and walking with an oath. I'm not the goat, I'm shepherd. Blending into the world tree, hiding a leaper. Mr. 7, I'm ghost in flesh. I'm a fallen angel from sky. Up above, I'm that man that think is a thug. I'm your drug and your plug. Wings tucked, I seen pain, seen blessings, seen luck. Ran over by train, that's about 8 trucks. Smitty really gritty, but never I'm no slut to the money and fame. You can keep your chain, we free men over here. And in case you didn't know, my favorite.
Please forgive me for that. Somehow or another, StreamYard started acting funny and kicked me out of my own damn stream. But anyway, Reed Spec, welcome back. We're going to get started in a moment. Just let me finish getting my notes ready, and I'll be with you guys. Let's go ahead and let's really talk about some real shit when it comes to like kids wanting to separate themselves. You should stick around. I'll be with you in a moment. Respect to the family.
Behold the pale white horse and in the dark night rider. Elevation, meditation, angels floating right beside you. The Messiah passed away at 33 like the degrees in Freemanson. Alchemist, cooking chemistry. I rose from the ocean, sparkling water magic potion. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you hear what I hear? Demons lurking, but it's no fear protection. Vision clear, the birth of the baby with powers in his tears. And if you vultures really want me, then I'm still right here. As I land in spacecraft, water walking warlock, jet propelled aircraft, Operation Star Fox. I remember sitting with my thoughts with the CD while we hotbox, smoking on some crunchy 37, call it pop rocks. We still here and won't stop until I'm at the top or until my body rocks. I'm ghost.
Let's get it. Y'all ready? Respect. Welcome back to another episode of Smitty's Corner, aka Lighthouse _301. Let's go ahead and let's do this right here, right? So let's just go ahead and get our day kicked off. At least I'm getting my day kicked off, okay? I don't know about you, okay? So before we get started, as always, you know I must ask, how are you? How's your headspace? And how has the day so far been treating you? Just in case nobody else asked you. All right now, respect to the family. About to pull something up. I'm going to pull up a video. I'm not going to show the video, right? Because I'm noticing, YouTube is still on that bullshit. So I'm not going to show the video, but I'm going to pull it up. And let's go ahead and let's talk about this right here, right? Let me see. All right, let's do this. Respect to the family. All right, so one moment. Let me see what we got. Let's push play.
Another example of how our culture has just lost its moorings. It's like, well, what's life? Well, you have a job or career, and hopefully you're productive and you contribute something to the community and you provide yourself and your family with the necessities of life. That's a quarter of your life or a third of it, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have an intimate relationship, you have a family. That's life. And if you don't have one of those, that's 1/3 of your life you don't have. Now, some people, maybe they're doing so well on the other two fronts that they can cope with not having that. Or maybe they're doing so well on one front, they can cope with not having two of them.
Compensates.
Yeah, maybe. It's pretty hard because if you want to have a great career, it's hard to do that if you're alone and without a family, right? I mean, the people that I've seen who've been best situated in their life, all things considered, even in relationship to their career, have a pretty solid monogamous relationship that stabilizes them. And then they have a family that also stabilizes them and broadens out their life. And, exceptional people do exceptional things. And
I want to point something out to that. Now, that's something that I definitely recognize inside of the compass of men. We do. It's something about a fulfillment of having someone to look out for, do things for. And I'm talking about your family. It's something about that really keeps a man going and drives us. You see, that's why most men don't do well when we're alone too long. That's why I don't promote that type of thinking. I don't promote that over here. Other places may do it, but not me. No, I recognize how valuable we all are to each other in every form and fashion in which we are of value. Let's keep rocking out. Let me see what we got. Because we're going to get to this other part that I really want to talk about, this video about the whole segregation of how the youth is towards the elders at this point. Let's go ahead and see what we got.
good for them, but they're, by definition, given that they're exceptional, they're a tiny minority. This is always the argument between conservatives and liberals, right? Because the liberal types, they're more tilted sometimes towards, what would you call it? Compassion or appreciation for the exceptional. And fair enough, the exceptional is necessary, but on average, what everyone does on average is the thing to do. And so you just look, you see, well, what do people do? Well, they have a job or a career, they have an intimate relationship, and they have a family. And if you don't have any one of those things, well, then you're treading water harder. Doesn't mean you can't do it. And it doesn't even mean possibly that you shouldn't try, but as a default presumption, it's just utterly foolish. What else are you going to do with your life? Maybe you're wildly creative. Fair enough, you know. That's extraordinarily rare as well. Subject.
Right. And even things that we try to be creative on, generally speaking, is based upon what it is that can be of servitude to others. Men love to invent things that people can benefit from. That is one thing I do know. Okay. So even if you're trying to be creative, you still want somebody to appreciate your creativity, is my point. Let's not ever get that twisted. Let's rock out.
To the power law problem in any case, which is even if you're hyper creative, the probability that you're going to be successful at that economically is extremely tiny, to the point where it's almost non-existent. It's so difficult. Now, it does happen, and you can have spectacular success if you become successful. But
wasn't it that did you say last night, of the 100,000 most recently printed books, only 1,000 have sold more than 1 million?
yeah, it's something like that. It's something like
Power law's all the way down.
Yeah, everywhere. Power law, that's, you know, a tiny minority of people do all the work. A tiny minority of people get all the benefit. A tiny minority of athletes score all the goals. A tiny minority of men get all the women, etc. A tiny minority of stars have all the mass. A tiny minority of rivers have all the water. A tiny minority of cities have all the people.
And see, the thing is that these are the factors that I've recognized, that there's always going to be a percentage of something with someone. You know, when you try to make it seem as if like everybody's capable of everything, that's how we lose the sense of uniqueness within ourselves even. That's why it's a small percentage, how he's saying. But let's go ahead and get back to it. Let's see what we got.
etc., everywhere, always. You know, and we're so clueless in our culture that we blame that on capitalism. It's like, how does that account for the massive stars, people? So, or the, you know, the volume of rivers, or the population density of cities, or
What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that.
Now, let's go ahead. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this video up. Now, this, I believe I'm able to give the visuals on, right? So let me go ahead and do this right here. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. Boom. Let me do that. Let me do this. Now, let me just go right here. This is what I want to get to right here. All right, y'all. 1 moment. Let's just get through the commercial. I appreciate any and everybody for tuning in. Welcome back. Welcome back. The time right now is 12:31 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. All right. So this right here, we're going to be talking about like basically like the fall off of families. Now, that's something, before we get to talking about anything else, we need to actually address what is the true fallout of families. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what we got right here. Take it away, Phil.
Happening in society right now that nobody really talks about, but it's everywhere. More and more, we're seeing adult
Fair use. Let me go ahead and hit that bad boy. There we go. So let's go ahead. Like, let's look at this right here. Because this right, when I seen this, I was like, this is a very interesting segment. And it's something that's very prevalent to what a lot of us are going through out here in society today. So let's rock out.
children not just walking away from their parents, but putting it all out there for the world to see. And people online are cheering them on. You've probably seen it. TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, they're all buzzing with hashtags like toxic family and no contact.
What does that mean? You know, we talk about toxic relationships. Now we're on the level of now we've escalated it to toxic families. Hashtag ghosting my parents. What? Hold on, man. Let me listen to more.
Many people are sharing stories about their families, calling out toxic or abusive behavior, and talking about cutting ties.
What happened to what goes on, but what goes on in this house stays in this house. Now, I'm not saying when it comes to abuse in any form should always be spoken out. And I want to make that clarification. If abuse is taking place, speak out on it. Do what you got to do in a method which will be the safest for you to get that message out there, right? You don't want to put yourself in harm's way. Now, what I'm saying outside of that is, like, what really are we saying right now? And if the kids are doing that, is it true that the prophecy which was spoken about that you will know the signs of the end of times when children become their parents' master? Let's listen more.
For a lot of folks, going no contact isn't just about walking away, it's something they actually feel proud about.
This idea that going no contact is like this new millennial thing is just always so funny to me. But I think that these parents forget, like, you raised us to have beliefs of putting ourselves first, of taking care of ourselves, of not letting people use and harm us.
Whoa, lady. Whoa, lady. Hold on, lady. Hold on, lady. Did she say millennials? My millennials? My 80s babies? What? What? We're the last drip drops of the rag being wrung out of chivalry and respect. Let's stop that. But anyway, let's just go ahead and give her a chance and let's listen to what she has to say. Let me push play.
That when we do that and you're the one who receives the consequences of that, suddenly not okay.
You're also ready to jump on the bandwagon of the child and shame parents who don't deserve it. That's so incredibly wrong.
There's a reason why.
Wait a minute. Is it wrong? No. We're not shaming parents. What we recognize is that we did actually grow up in a day and age where no matter what an adult said, it was so-called right. And you had a lot of children that was undergoing a lot of physical as well as other forms of abuse because we just listened to the adult because they're older. And as we went through time and more things started to hit the light, we recognize, nah, it ain't just because you're older. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Young or youthful or of the elders, right? Let's go ahead and get back to it.
A lot of people are going no contact with abusive parents. She blames her children for everything.
It's the fault of their narcissistic victimhood mentality, kids.
If that person abused you, neglected you, treated you like, would you want?
I don't understand. Wait a minute. So you're trying to tell me that this is like a whole, okay, so, you know, the more I'm listening, so you're really trying to tell me, let me go ahead and hit my theme music. So you're trying to tell me, there we go. So what you're trying to tell me is that kids have to actually do this themselves. They actually have to, like, say, I don't want to be around my parents. What happened to CTS? What happened to governmental intervention? What happened to the governmental intervention? So seriously, this is what we're doing at this point. We're having see the first thing that comes to my mind is if the kids have to think to do this, the first thing comes to my head space is what's going on with the adults and what aren't we doing for them? For even this to be some kind of like movement. Like, what? This ain't no movement. This is a phase, just like everything else, just like bell bottoms and mohawks. It's a phase. Because everybody's going to get older and recognize what the truth of all of this really is, all the way down to what your family consists of, right? Let's go ahead and get back to the video.
The them to call them, or would you want them to cut them out, end that relationship?
There are definitely situations where walking away is the healthiest choice. Yet here's the thing. Are we actually helping people heal or just making it easier for them to hit the eject button on their own families? Stats say about 1 in 4 adults is estranged from a parent, and experts think it's only going to get more common. So tonight, we're digging into the big question. Is this just how families work now? And if you cut someone off, is there any way to fix things later? My first guest, Laura, is a mother who says she was totally blindsided when her daughter cut her off. Then Laura went viral on TikTok as the doormat mom after sharing her story. What started as a personal heartbreak turned into a national debate. She wants to speak up for all the parents left wondering what happened.
Are you a doormat mom? Did you do everything in your power? To raise incredible adult kids, only to be accused of doing nothing of the sort. You didn't do good enough. They mistreat you. You're possibly estranged. You are not alone. There are thousands of parents in the same boat. You don't have to be alone and suffer in silence because you ended up to be a doormat mom or a dad.
Laura, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Is this difficult for you to talk about?
It's not easy, but I feel like in talking about it, I'm helping other parents. So I'll do it for sure.
This was between you and your daughter, but then you went public with it. Tell me why you decided to go public.
Well, I think the initial reason was because I needed a means to cope with regards to my own estrangement and what had happened, because I had felt so betrayed by my daughter that it was hard to fathom it happening. And I suspected that this betrayal wasn't uncommon, but it was unspoken. And so I took to TikTok to see if I was right. And in fact, I was right in spades. It unleashed a tidal wave of other parents who felt the same type of betrayal, where they had been good parents. Normal mistakes, weren't abusive, weren't toxic, weren't narcissistic. And their children all of a sudden turned on them in a way that was so unwarranted and so hurtful and crushing to these parents, just as it was to me. About a year now.
And how did this begin? Were you okay one day and not the next, or did this come out of the blue? Did you see it developing? How did this start?
No, it came completely out of the blue. So here's how it began. I received a call from my daughter where she told me that I was not allowed to attend her wedding in Australia. And this was after I had raised her by myself and gave her a childhood that most kids could have only dreamt of as a single mother and a very young widow. I had given the happy couple mine and my late husband's blessing.
Nah. It's something you not saying. This is what I be paying attention to. It's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something you're not saying. It's a piece of this story you don't want to say. Now, I get it, because a lot of us should be in the preservation of everything isn't for the public, but that's not the whole story. Don't no daughters be like, I don't want mom or dad to come to my wedding or graduation or whatever grand milestone in my life is taking place without it being a reason. So I want to see if we can get to the reason as to why, because I'm not just going to skim over that part. Let's go ahead and listen to it more.
Even though I was concerned about their marriage because they hadn't known each other for too long, had engaged in many wedding dress fittings with my daughter, had agreed to help coordinate the honeymoon, and even had agreed to hold a second celebration in the US for people who couldn't attend the wedding. None of that mattered. I received a virtual phone call one day, a video phone call saying that I couldn't attend and that I could work that out on my own.
Now, this is also another factor, you see, because we hit it from different angles over here, right? The other factor of that could possibly be that the daughter is dealing with, like, her husband is one of those, I want you cut off from everybody. That does happen too. Oh yeah, you definitely have dudes out here who say to themselves, if you marry me, then it's just me and you and nobody else, and you cut off your family and you cut off your ties to your close friends. I recognize that part as well. Let's go ahead and let's listen to this a little bit more. Let's see what we got.
Only to get another one the next week that she wanted me to help gather her paperwork together so that she could, in fact, get married in Australia. And I was so stunned and so crushed. And I didn't even know where to go for it. So I started gathering my thoughts, and I
not saying too much on it, but I have already spoken about it here online. My baby sister, she got married in Japan. She got married in Japan, not here. None of us attended her wedding. Me as big brother, right? Because that's my baby sister. Me as big brother, I'm like, I got questions about that. Hold on, wait a minute. What do you mean that the family can't attend? And it's not even necessarily just because we want to be there to party. Yes, I want to be there to celebrate anything good going on with your baby sis. But my thing is, what's going on in this wedding that our black asses can't attend? You see? So that was something I had questions on. So it sometimes can be because that person wants that individual to integrate into their family completely, when it should be a mesh and a combination of the two. The family should join and unite in a sense, and it should become an even larger family. That's how that's how it at least should work out. I'm not saying it does all the time, and we know it doesn't. But let's keep on rocking out. The time right now is 12:51 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Smitty's Corner, aka Lighthouse_301. Let's rock out.
I went online on TikTok and I started making videos about, feeling like a doormat and thinking that would maybe rally some other parents who had experienced something like this. And a tidal wave exploded. A tidal wave of the parents exploded. And it went from TikTok to Instagram to a Facebook group to a podcast to, and now it's turning into an app. So, parents at the local level, estranged parents can meet and potentially put together support groups. So it's.
Wait a minute. So y'all need support groups because what? You need a support group because you can't handle your kids? Let's just be real about it, people. Let's talk about it. Let's be real about it. You need a support group because you can't handle your children? We all know. Listen, trust me when I tell you, as sweet as my baby girl is, okay? You see that flaming bird up there in the right top hand corner? That's her. That's why she there. The phoenix, okay? All right. The fire is there. Trust me when I tell you. She gets it from a mama and a father. But my point is that, like, how do we get this? But it's still, I promise you, it's a level of respect that's still there. Has she jumped out there, snapped a little bit and everything else? Yeah, of course. But I promise you, on mothers, Mo, we're not having that. No. And we make sure that we keep things in the perspective of there is a hierarchy here. Okay. There is authority here. Yes, you are under me right now. Yes, under me. Why? Because you're under my roof. Okay. You're under my paycheck. Okay. You're under my guidance. Therefore, you are under me. I am sensei. You are grasshopper. And until you're out on your own, you are under me. Although I will respect the stages and levels in which you elevate in as you grow while being under me. I'm not going to treat you like a 5-year-old when you're 15. Let's go ahead and rock out.
It's been a whirlwind, and it's something I would have never known about unless I experienced it. So now it's almost become a clap. Oh, 100%. I've hit a nerve, and I just hover in silence because there is shame attached to a stranger between parents and children, and parents are always getting the blame for it. When in fact today, that isn't always the case. It definitely is not always the case.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Your savings are at risk. With the economy on shaky ground, the dollar losing value, and a $2 trillion deficit.
All right, so let's go ahead and get back to it. Let's get back to it because I don't know what the hell that was, but let's go ahead and get back to it. All right, so where are we at? Oh, yeah. Okay, so we right here. Okay, back to the show.
Planning to attend June's meeting.
Shit, now we got a commercial break. Let's go ahead and get through the commercial break. I apologize, people. Forgive me. All right, now. Let's get back to it. Let's see what we got. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Oh, they really playing with me. They giving me like 3 whole commercials. Let's go.
She says it's not about punishing anyone. It's really about protecting yourself. And I'm going to get to Kristen in 1 second, and I want her to listen to the question I have for Laura and Laura's answer, because I want these two to interact. And Laura, the question I have for you is, make your daughter's argument. If you have to stand in her shoes and make sense of her position as though you were arguing it to a jury, what would be the most logical reason you think she would cut you out of her life? What would be, and you don't set up a paper tiger and tear it down, what would be the most logical reason you could come up with for her cutting you out of her life?
I honestly could not give you a logical reason, because she's not only cut me out, but she's cut her entire family out.
Okay, but that's not answering the question. If you're going to answer the question, if you had to make an argument, what would the argument be?
She just wanted an entirely new beginning without me in her life.
And why?
Thank you. No, right there.
I couldn't answer that, Dr. Phil.
No, right there. No, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Why? Didn't I say that before? Said it just moments ago. There is a reason why your child, for whatever reason, didn't want you at the wedding. We need to get to it. Now, you know what I think it may be? The classic stereotypical, because I've gone through this with my parents, right? Okay. Definitely, God rest my father's soul, you know what I'm saying? Pops just sounded off last week still. It's only been a week or so. I remember having so many different like back and forths with my pops about the difference in how we think. And what I'm thinking possibly it could be is this is one of those moms who definitely did take care of everything. They had everything they needed. They didn't want for nothing. I do believe that, but I believe that it's the stereotypical like boomer. There we go. Baby boomer age of we know everything, you know nothing. We don't want to listen. I don't think you should do it this way. You should do it that way. No. Nobody's going to like it if you try it this way. That's the difference. The only thing that I can think of so far, unless she is one of those behind the scenes undercover drunk moms who just be throwing wine glasses and shit for no reason, and we can't invite mom nowhere. Remember the last time we took her to Walmart? Right? But outside of that, if it's not that, then I'm trying to figure out What exactly is the reason? Let's see if we can get to the pinpoint reason as to why mom is not invited anywhere with her daughter, who she raised, and she says she's she's well taken care of, which, I mean, from the appearance of things, I would say looks like she's probably one of those stereotypical white moms, had you in soccer, viola, everything else. You were in all the programs in school and everything. She was the cool mom that did the sleepovers for the friends and everything else. Okay, cool. We gonna give you that. Okay, you had toasted strudels and everything for the kids in the morning. We got you, mama. But my thing is this: where do we actually see the disconnect? Where is the disconnect? Because something happened for there to be a disconnect. Let's go.
I don't know.
If that's your answer, that's your answer. Now, Kristen, you have an answer for why you cut your mother out of your life. You said you lived with this for 25 years, and you say that your mother disappeared on you in the first grade, the third grade. She was gone for a year. She didn't do things that mothers do when they grow up, and enough's enough and too much is too much. And it just got to a point.
Mom disappeared? Whoa. You telling me mom went and got a pack of cigarettes one day and didn't come back? Oh, shit. Now we getting into something. I didn't hear it this far. So we're all reacting to this on a natural basis. Let's go ahead and get back to it.
Point that you're better off without than with your mother in your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And did you decide that there's no patching this up? There's no reason that the cost is too high, that she's not reliable? What was your decision?
Yeah, my decision, came after having my son and really realizing like I wouldn't do the things that she did to my child, and really coming to that decision that I couldn't have her in my life. And I get that question a lot of like, could our relationship be patched up? And the answer is I really don't know, because I've never gotten to that point where we have been in a place where that could happen. I've been
Now, what I want to know is me listening to this, I would like to know, how common is this nowadays? How common is this for those of us from our generation to feel this way towards our parents? That's all I want to know. I'm just curious.
Contact now for 7 years, and we have not exchanged any interaction in that time. I don't know what I would do if my mom would show up or call me at this point. There are things that would have to happen, boundaries that would have to be addressed, expectations, accountability for the things that she put me throughout our entire life. And the ability to sit in that and have a discussion would just be the.
Now, wait a minute now. Hold on. Okay, so I do get, okay, so she wasn't there. And okay, so basically it seems like she was in and out of your life, mom. Let me ask you guys this. Is that something that really does constitute a person to feel like you're a bad parent? Are you considered a deadbeat if you're in and out? Like, you have been there, but you're in and out. You're not consistent. So if you're not consistent, does that still fall under the category of deadbeat? Type your comment in the chat for me. Let's go ahead and rock out.
Starting point for that for us. Like, that's the starting line.
And do you think she would have an inability to own that, acknowledge that, or perform at a different level?
Yeah, I do think she does struggle, and that's a place that I've held empathy for her entire life and my entire life. I understand that my mom, she's a human. She was not a perfect parent, and I didn't expect her to be a perfect parent. What I expected was to be loved and kept safe. And at this point, I was asking, when we went no contact, I was asking for bare minimum. I was asking for a phone call a month and to remember birthdays, and I wasn't getting those things. And so
I see. So basically it was the whole, you felt neglected, you felt abandoned and neglected. Okay, so that is something I would say is legitimized from a child to the parent. From the child to the parent, to feel neglected definitely is illegitimized Yeah, that can do it. I can do it. Let's go ahead, keep on rocking out. Much respect to the family. The time right now is 1:03 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all so much for tuning in on this lovely, lovely, beautiful Thursday afternoon. Let's rock out.
For those small things to not be met, that would, for me, is the bare minimum for our relationship.
And you heard me asking Laura, and this is not your mom, and there is no evidence, no history whatsoever that Laura has mimicked your mother's history in any way whatsoever. She didn't disappear. There's evidence that she had a communicative home. She raised children as a single mother, having lost her husband. And no one challenges that whatsoever. But when I ask her, what argument do you think your daughter would offer? She comes up with zero. And nobody, I've never met anybody that has zero ownership in a relationship and its problems. As a therapist and as an estranged daughter, what do you think about her having zero ability to offer any logical explanation as to why her daughter would have a problem with her?
I don't know their situation. I don't know their relationship in depth, as you said. I think that a lot of times as children who've gone no contact, these are things that we have stated, but sometimes don't align with our parents' view of what might be toxic or abusive.
I do agree with that. I agree that there is that slight separational gap that needs to always stay mended and tightly bonded. As far as what you were going through is not what I'm going through now. How you all looked at things back at one point is not how things are now. And I do believe that has been the biggest error that I'm saying us because I'm up here now, right? 43. Those of us from my age beyond, like before me, that have really fumbled the ball on. We fumbled the ball because we actually thought that we know everything. And however it was when we was coming up, however it was when I was doing my thing, I just got to recognize it's not the same, man. When I get to talking to my like little nephews and them and stuff, man, when I tell you, it is absolutely night and day from how they think and process things, from relationships, friendships, business, everything, work ethic, everything is totally night and day. But I got to recognize that's where they are. So what do? In order to keep the connection going, you meet them where they are. You don't have to like necessarily bow to what it is that they say, but it is good to know how to meet them where they are so that you all can stay in the line of communication. They can give you the gems of today. You can give them the gems of yesterday. And therefore, we all have a much more prosperous present. Let's go ahead and keep on rocking out. With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 1:06 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's go ahead and do it.
Or things like that. When I came to my mother about those things, she didn't view them as toxic, even though the rest of the world and textbooks would view them as toxic. And so I think sometimes our viewpoints really impact how we view our own behaviors.
I can't afford therapy. You can afford.
My bad, y'all. My bad. It's crazy. It's crazy, like how they correlate like these commercials with what you watching. Like we watching this and all of a sudden a therapy commercial pop up. Like they know what they doing, God damn it. Yeah. Man, let's go ahead and keep on rocking out. With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's roll the tape. Oh, sound.
Do you think this is a trend among millennials and Gen Z that we weren't seeing in generations past? Or do you think these generations are just finding the voice?
I think it's a combination. I would say it was a trend, but not in the trend like skinny jeans are. It is a trend because it is happening more. And I think that is because social media is allowing access to these conversations and this ability to say, oh, this is something that's okay to do when I am harmed. And as far as like this generational piece, This is a thing that happened within my family. My mother didn't speak to my grandmother. I have an aunt that I've never met because she was estranged in our family. And so this is.
So now we know why. Now, see, that's why mom wasn't invited to the wedding. That's why mom has been X'd out from her life now that she's a grown adult, right? Although mom did possibly, she looks like it even now. She looks like she was one of those, she was well taken care of. She don't look burnt out like she went the wrong way out in the street. She looks like she was well protected and secured and within her household. But there were other factors that were taking place. Let's rock out.
It isn't just millennials and Gen Zs that are happening. It's just we're the ones who are on social media more often talking about it.
But there's a generational legacy in your family. And that was not the case with you, Laura. This wasn't a generational thing in your family.
No, and let me point out one thing. It wasn't that my daughter went estranged from me. I chose to take the step back, and she came forward and wanted something more from me to give. And when I set that boundary, that's when she went full no contact. So it was
fair use, fair use, fair use.
It wasn't as if I had all of a sudden magically became someone. She was more than willing to continue to take from me. And I said, no more. So if you want to say that that's the one reason, I'd say that's the one reason I set down a boundary. I do think social media is pushing this along. I think there's a societal conditioning that's happening. I think there are some, there are some bad therapists that are adding to it too. There are some really good therapists that are helping to cure it, but there's a lot of bad therapists that are helping it along too. So, and certainly I don't know the other guests, what her mother did, in her life. And if she truly was someone that couldn't even, send a birthday wish, well, that's definitely is not me, because I would have sent a whole basket of everything. I can't speak to that, but I do know there are many good parents out there that are suffering in a way that they don't deserve to suffer because they're being lumped into a category that they don't deserve to be in.
You've heard me talk about Jace Medical. If not, listen up, because they're doing incredible work in medical.
Nope, not today. Not today. Not today. We just gonna get back to this daggone show. Let's do this. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and keep on rocking out. Let's see what we got right here on this next segment before we go ahead and end it off. I appreciate any and everybody for tuning in. The time right now was 1:11 p.m. East Coast Standard Time on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, and I thank you all for watching. Let's rock out.
It's been 30 years that you two have really had problems between each other. You've tried along the way. Even a year ago, you've had contact and talked to each other, but this just hasn't worked out. It's been 30 years since there's been peace.
I want to look up the research when I get a chance. I didn't do it beforehand, but what's the ratio of mom and daughter that actually don't get along to mom and daughter out of 100% that do? Because I can tell you right now, my baby sister and my mother, they're like besties. No, seriously. I mean, they do all kind of trips together and everything. They're like besties. So I personally wonder where, where does that percentage lie? So I'm going to look that up when I get a chance to. But let's go ahead and let's get back to it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to the family.
Peace and harmony between the two of you. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And do you even remember how it started, or does it even matter now?
I would say it doesn't really matter.
What prompted you to go no contact with your mom? Was it you that went no contact?
It is.
Okay. And do you remember, and does it matter today?
It does matter, just because of how painful it is. I don't like to be like that to my mother because she's my mother.
And does it matter because it's continued happening, or was it a one-time thing?
It matters because it's gone on since my childhood.
Okay. And how would you describe it? And then I'm going to let your mother respond.
As a young child, I was constantly told that I would never amount to anything, that I only thought of myself, that I was selfish, that all I wanted was a pity party and I needed mental help.
You know, as somebody who comes from the day and age of, boy, you ain't gonna be shit. Now, not my parents necessarily. Definitely not my father. But me and my father have definitely had some back and forths on just the aspects of manhood, right? I've definitely challenged dad at times, right? I remember that thoroughly. What I want to know is from the daughter, when it comes to how you feel. Now, I know I've said it myself. I'm the arbiter of it. Some things you will not heal from. You will only be able to cope. So I'm curious, at what point do you actually put that aside? Mom looks like she's at her elder stage where you never know when she can have a heart attack. She's gone from here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm curious. I'm actually curious. Like, do you actually say all of this is behind us? Do you? Do you actually say that? Or is it, no, it's up till it's stuck, and even after you're gone, it's still up and it's stuck, although you're no longer here? And I really wonder that, right? Like, how long do we hold on to what it is that we, had a problem about with somebody, especially your parent, and more than anything, especially your mother, right? The vessel and tunnel in which we all came to here through, excuse me, tongue tied. But let's go ahead and keep on listening.
Those words are hurtful.
Karen, is that true?
No, that's not true. I never told her she had a mental problem. I never said those things, April.
You never said any of those things?
No, I did not.
Well, does she have a mental problem then? Because if she's saying that, she must be delusional. Is she hearing voices? Why is she saying that?
I have no idea, but I never told her she was anything that she said.
Okay, why would she have this problem then?
I don't know.
No, see, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it as parents. We just don't know why. Like, I can honestly say, even with my kid, right? So I got one beautiful daughter who's now a young lady, right? The things that me and her have had a rift about, I know exactly what it's been. I know what it's been about. Like, if somebody asks me, why do you think that she kind of, didn't want to be around you for a certain period in time? I'll be like, well, because in her mind, I was coming off too harsh. I was coming off like, a little bit too overbearing, because my heightened awareness of how dangerous it is out here, that was kicking in. That was kicking in fulfillment, right? And so now I'm sitting up here and I'm saying to myself, I need to go ahead and give her all the information that I possibly can give her, as much as I can give her. But I needed to recognize that, you're pushing it on her. So then the information is going, she's going to push the information away because you're forcing it on her. That was my issue. I had to learn how to relax and kind of ease myself into like the teaching lessons. You see where I'm at? I had to ease myself into that. So I had to learn that. So these, this whole thing about these moms not knowing what exactly was the reason as to why their kid, no, come on now. Like, how much were you paying attention, lady? Let's keep rocking out.
You just have no idea.
I have no idea.
None. If there was one thing you could change, Karen, that you think Mike could heal this relationship, what would it be?
That we could all try to get along together.
If you were going to ask her to forgive you for something, what would it be?
If she would forgive me for, I love her. I really do.
Hercules 20 volt.
You know what? I believe possibly mom does. I believe she really does. You know what? Because sometimes in life we have to remember, like we do. Man, we got to remember this part, right? You can love somebody, but not know how to produce the love that you need to give for that person individually. You can be in a relationship and you could love the person you're in a relationship with. You just don't know how to love that person whom you're in a relationship with. You can have children. You love your children, but you may not know how to love each individual child in the specific way in which each individual child needs to be loved. So I do believe that she loves her daughter. I do. But I can see the look on her face. I can see it. It just, it reeks all through the windows of her vessel, which is the eyes, which is, I just never knew how to. I had her and I did the best that I could. And apparently the best that I could was the worst that I could ever do, apparently. And it looks like that's what it is right there. It's a sense of guilt on mom's part, just through the facial expression alone. Let's keep on rocking out. But I could be completely wrong. Let's listen.
I have no idea.
You have no way to express any transgression across 30 years that you would say, look, I shouldn't have been this way, shouldn't have done this. Not one thing you can think of that you would ask for forgiveness of.
Well, I shouldn't have done the things that I did, but I don't even remember what I did to her, but I hope and pray that she would forgive me.
Did you have physical fights with your daughter?
No, she had physical fights with me.
One of the big things that is really important in relationships and relationship management is for the people in the relationship to have insight to what they contribute. When you're in a relationship, you either contribute to it or you contaminate it. And if you have zero insight to how you may have contaminated a relationship, it's really hard to affect change. And when you say, I can't think of a single thing, how about you, April? Is there anything you can think of that you would ask forgiveness for or that you would change in your relationship that might start a healing process?
I would ask for her to stop calling me the names. It took away from my self-worth as a child. I was one of those shy, quiet girls that sat in the back and was in a shell. I felt alone. I didn't have a mother who really, truly loved me. She says she loves me, but she was never there to support me. She never interacted with me.
It says that mom never really interacted. Now, that's the part that's generally most important. Like, again, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Ruth? Let's see you. That's the part that's most important. Kids are saying that they want to separate themselves from their parents. Then we ask these parents, what exactly are you doing for your child to want to separate themselves? And a lot of them are saying, well, I don't know. How do you not know why your kid doesn't want to be around you? What's going on? What have you not been focused on? So I always will put more of the onus on that parent more so than the kid, although I do recognize, yes, they talking about, well, we gave them, look, I gave her everything she needed. We took care of her, me and her father, blah, blah, blah. But she just decided to go off and go in this direction. Well, that happens. There is such thing as bad apples that fall from a good tree. That does happen in real life in nature. and in families. You know, my thing is truly honing in on where does the onus really lie? Is it really on when they become older and they decide to go a certain direction, or is it really because of you didn't prepare them well enough? Now, again, it's just a question. I mean, don't try to figure out which direction I'm in with it. I'm just saying it's a question. If your kids decide not to listen to you when they become adults, is it because you did not prepare them well enough, or is it because they just decided to do their own thing? The reason why I ask is because I can say for myself a majority of, like, I ain't gonna say majority, but I'll say a good portion of people that I grew up with, no matter, even if we did like kind of steer and veer off and try to do our own thing, we always somehow or another came back home with it. And I mean come back home in the sense of our roots, the foundation that was built in us from day one. You see where I'm at? That's primarily where I'm at with it. So I'm saying to myself, how possibly do we really get to where we are? And the only answer that I have is the prophecy says, one day you will know the signs of the end of times when the parents become the children's master. You know how they first started implicating that? Don't you touch your kids. If your child comes to school and says, I don't like how my parents are doing this or that, and I'm not talking about spanking them, just they don't like you, you possibly can have your child removed from your home today in this day and age over that. So then we have the aspect of, okay, so now parents are trying to bow down, and what they're trying their best to do is like some kind of damage control by thinking that we can be the elders who are now being our kids' friends. You can't be your kid's friend. You can be friendly. You can be cool with them, but you can't be their friend. And there's nothing wrong with being friendly or being cool with your kid. As a matter of fact, that's fun. It's dope to me. I tell you that much. I love spending time with my baby girl. You know what I'm saying? But we have to remember that you cannot be their friend. You have to just only be friendly. Next thing you know, we have this whole huge, this just wave of kids and parents talking about how much they're disconnected. And I really do wonder, when I was growing up, was it really the same thing for us as millennials and X and beyond? I really wonder that. No, is it Z or no? I think X. Yeah, X. Okay, yeah, me. Yeah, right. Is it really the same? The way in which we would go about how we view the OGs, those of the elders, those of our hierarchy, did we really see it the same way that the kids see it now? It's just that we didn't record about it and we were kind of forced to shut up about it because we would get our ass whooped. Is that what it is? You see where I'm going with it? Or is it really just, nah, I'm just doing me. This is just, times have changed and life has told me I can just do whatever it is I want to do. That's the part that kills me. So if we was to go back to the absolute very, very beginning of this before we get up out of here, right? So let's just rewind to right here. See, this is the part that really got me about this video, right? This beginning part right here.
About cutting ties. For a lot of folks, going no contact isn't just about walking away. It's something they actually feel proud about.
This idea that going no contact is like this new millennial thing is just always so funny to me. But I think that these parents forget, like, you raised us to have beliefs of putting ourselves first, of taking care of ourselves, of not letting people use and harm us. And yet when we do that and you're the one who receives the consequences of that, suddenly not okay.
I just caught that part. What are the consequences?
They're also ready to jump on the bandwagon of the child and shame parents who don't deserve it. That's so incredibly wrong.
There's a reason why a lot of people are going no contact with abusive parents. She blames her children for everything.
That's the part that caught my attention with it. But let's just go ahead and sit on that for the moment, right? Much respect to the family. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Listen, make sure that you always do what you got to do when it comes to supporting the channel. And that's just tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Respect to the family. Y'all know how we do. We're going to get up out of here with some good old-fashioned tunes.
Behold the pale white horse and in the dark night rider. Elevation, meditation, angels floating right beside you. The Messiah passed away at 33 like the degrees in Freemason alchemist. Cooking chemistry, I rose from the ocean sparkling. Water magic potion. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you hear what I hear? Demons lurking but it's no fear protection. Vision clear, the birth of the baby with powers in his tears. And if you vultures really want me, then I'm still right here. As I land in spacecraft, water walking warlock, jet propelled aircraft, Operation Star Fox. I remember sitting with my thoughts with the CD while we hotbox, smoking on some crunchy 37, call it pop rocks. We still here and won't stop until I'm at the top or until my body rocks. I'm ghost. I reside on 5th, the level of the stars. Yes, I'm closer to the sun, rotation round Mars. I spit bars on my mind, I travel really far. I took my pain and my struggle, then I wrapped it in a bundle. Even when I stumble, I'll remain humble till this world crumbles. I'll be the rumble in the jungle. It took me many, yes, just stages. I flipped the page of my life's novel, chapter 82. This track right here is you. You're a gift and a promise, but if you that new, I grew up very quiet. Me, I stayed the self, then I went away to prison. Now my life up on the shelf, I felt defeated like it's over, but my mind recreated. I contemplated, this my statement. I cracked the ground as I walk on the pavement. Left arm hold my legacy. Phoenix rose the rashes of her father, but this life has a channel that can tap into the heavens. Yes, my name is Mr. 7, but you call me the one golden child of the city. Never looking for your pity or the fussing and the fighting got us looking really silly. Come get with me on this travel back into the heartlands. I stand 10 toes down because me, I fear no man. Yes, I colder than ice and I'm smoother than sand. Why you say that makes no sense? I walk the earth and conquer land. My lyrics are atomic and my flow is supersonic. I got a J and some tonic, not efficient, motherconic. 43rd chapter of my life, I still got it. My flows of the ocean cause I'm surfing to the beat. Yes, it's Smitty on the corner, you can catch me in the streets. I will give a good word, but do not like to preach. By my head, say a prayer, thank you for this daily bread. Only get that style.